Hey guys, it's Melina Cards, or Lauren you can call me, and I'm sorry in advance for the very loud music if you can hear it. The apartment below mine likes to throw parties every Saturday night, and this is what I have to deal with every Saturday. But I'm here making a video anyway, because someone said something in my last live video today that it got me thinking. And I'm not going to say what they said. They just insulted me being a girl and being into baseball pretty much. But I blocked the guy. It wasn't a big deal. I didn't want to make it a big deal. But it did get me thinking. What are the pros of liking baseball as a girl? Like, what even is the good part of it? Are there any? So I wanted to make a video about the pros and cons of being a girl and liking baseball. And before I begin, I would like to say I have nothing against anyone who likes baseball. Yeah, I don't have anything against anyone. I just wanted to make this because I feel like, I need to address it. Apparently people don't know. So I'm going to talk about it and maybe now people will understand. So we're going to start with a pro, and then we're going to move to a con. By the way, there are more cons than pros. But the first pro is that I know how to deal with adversity. Like today in the live when the guy was insulting me being a girl, and I just didn't care. Mostly because I've heard worse from guys. Like, being a girl and being in any sport, into any sport at all, is a challenge. Not just, it's not a challenge to love this game. Like, I don't get why people think that girls liking baseball is so difficult. It's not. Most girls understand the sport, the rules. It's just, a lot of girls aren't a fan of the MLB, of the game, just because it's kind of, from their perspective, it's kind of boring. I thought it was boring up until I was 11 and really got into baseball, so I can't really say much there, but I grew up with baseball. So I know how it feels to just be told, like, oh, you don't know anything because you're a girl and girls can't like baseball. And I'm like, that's simply not true. And not only can girls like baseball, but girls can be very, very knowledgeable about baseball, just like any guy. So, being a fan, there's nothing keeping a girl from being a fan of baseball that isn't also keeping a guy from being a fan of baseball. Just an FYI. Just more guys tend to like sports. I don't know why. Guess it's like a social stigma. I'm completely the opposite. I hate social rules. A con would be always being judged. Even whenever I was in high school, I would wear my TJ Oshie jersey every single day to school. And my teachers not even just guys, girls would judge me. I got bullied hardcore whenever I was in high school just because I always wore a sports shirt. And that was apparently socially wrong. I didn't think so. Like I said, I don't really care. I'm not here for social norms. But I was always judged growing up. And it wasn't just that I was a fan. I think it was because of how intensely I was a fan of baseball and hockey, but mostly baseball. I was so obsessed with it at first because I wanted to play. I wanted to play baseball or hockey and be good at it. Because that was what really got me into it, was well, I really love playing and I really love watching it, so there's the MLB, why not be a fan of that? So, but I did get judged a lot, and especially in high school. I got judged. I'm still judged for it. A pro is that you get to create your own identity, which, I mean, you could say for anyone, but especially for a girl, like, to just say, I don't really care what you think, I'm gonna like this, screw you, that's, like, for anyone, that would be, like, considered a strength, but a lot of people think that if a girl says that, she's being a bitch, and I don't think so. I think that if you're telling anyone how to feel, you're the one being a bitch. So, that's how I feel. I'm not gonna tell you to say that to anyone, or that would be very hypocritical. But, that's how I feel, and that's what I would consider, how would I say it? That's what I would do. I just wouldn't tell anyone how to feel, or what to like, or what to not like. Do you. You do you. I'll do me. That's how I feel. A con is that, like I said, I wanted to play baseball, and one of the cons of being a girl is that you can't play baseball. Or you can, because they're not allowed to tell you no anymore, but they won't play you. They won't. They will refuse to play you. At first they'll say it's because they don't want you to get hurt, which is by far the lousiest excuse ever. No girl who is playing baseball cares whether or not they get hurt. They want to play. Girls are mean. Girls are mean, and they are tough. If you've ever watched a softball game, dear Lord, I saw a girl, literally she was playing third base, and she had a fever of 105, and she ran off the field, puked in the bathroom, and came back. We had to pause the game. But she came back, and she played the rest of the game. Girls are tough. Girls are also very mean, and telling them that you don't want them to get hurt is like, is that a challenge? I can get hurt right now. Sitting here doing nothing. And then the next excuse they'll make is, well, we just don't have room for you. Which is always false, because there's 9 positions on the field and about maybe 4 bench spots. They always have room. Then there's also a JV. They could always play you on at least JV. But a lot of girls don't even waste their time, because they know ahead of time they're not going to get to play, which is stupid. It's very stupid, because most baseball coaches are men telling girls they can't play, which I find ridiculous. And I hate it. I hate that. And I think it's pretty cruel. Like, my dad was a coach for a baseball team at his high school, and whenever I became a freshman, I was like, well, I can transfer to your school and play on your baseball team. Like, I know you'll play me. And he said, well, I wouldn't, which really made me mad. And he said at first, I don't want you to get hurt. And I said, Dad, I don't care. I don't care if I get hurt. If I get hurt, fine. It's worth it. And I don't know why they don't have that same sentiment to boys. Boys can get hurt. I don't know. You can get hurt playing softball too, just as much. I've seen some horrible injuries. I've never gotten hurt. Knock on wood. I'm probably not ever gonna pick up a bat again, which really hurts me to say. But it's really kind of cruel, because my dad, pretty much, I was the boy he never had. I was into baseball, I was into sports, I played, I did all of the things. I knew baseball, I knew hockey, I knew the rules, I learned. I was in love with baseball from a very young age, just because I grew up with watching baseball and watching Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols was my favorite player, and I think it's pretty cruel to have teach your kid Like, this is such a great thing. This is something you should get excited about. This is something that should make you happy, and then tell them they can only participate in it in a limited way, which is stupid. For you to create this thing, like to tell them, this is great, but you can't have it. You can only have a little. But if you're a boy, you can have it. But if you're a girl, no, you can't. You can only have it from a watch standpoint, from a viewer. How cruel is that? How cruel is it that we're telling our children that? I think that is the stupidest thing ever. I think that is probably the worst thing my dad ever, well, not the worst thing, he's done some pretty awful things, but that was the most heartbreaking, was getting to 13 and finally being like, hey, I really want to play baseball, and him just being like, no, you can't have it. And my entire life I just wanted to play baseball. I didn't care if I played professionally, I just wanted to play, and it didn't really make sense to me why I couldn't, just because of how I was born. And that really hurts still. I talk a lot about that just because that is the stupidest thing. No girl should ever be told they can't just because they're a girl. No boy should ever be told they can't just because they're a boy. Let's have equality. Please. Then a pro is proving the stereotypes wrong, which is kind of a pro. I mean, people are like, you're paving the way for other girls. I'm like, no, I'm not. Other girls have been here. You've just ignored them. I'm the one that I don't care what you say. That's why I'm so, I don't even know why people are like, oh, you're so great. And I'm like, thanks. I'm not the only one. There are so many great girls in this hobby. Mott Sports Cards, they're great. Hannah, she's great. There's many more that they haven't revealed they're a girl to me, or they have and I've forgotten them, which I feel really bad about, but that's just because there's a lot of people in this hobby. I'm not, unless you're like really out there with it, I'm not gonna remember. I think people only remember me because I am very out there with it. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't do it to get attention. I don't know. The hobby is the one place where I've never felt like I should have to contain who I am. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Cons are not being taken seriously all the time. I can't count the amount of times where I've been like, oh yeah, I'm a Cardinals fan, and some boy has been like, oh, you're a Cardinals fan? Name 3 of their bullpen pitchers. And I'm like, fuck you. Here is their entire minor league system's rosters. I know my shit. Please don't, like, it's just like people are constantly trying to, like, test you. Like, trying to be like, how much do you really know? And you're like, doesn't matter. I'm a baseball fan. Like, shouldn't we be in this together? No? I guess I'm stupid. I don't think it matters. If you are a casual fan, good on you. If you are the biggest fan, even if you're the biggest Cubs fan, good on you. To me, I'm accepting of everyone into the baseball and the baseball card community, pretty much. Just don't disrespect me, please. That's all I ask. Please be kind to not just me, but to everyone, and you'll find your way into this hobby. Will be pretty easy. You'll transition right into it. And then finally, the last con is constant disappointment. I am constantly disappointed by the things that the MLB does. Which, I don't know if that's just a girl thing, but, like, last year, the Cubs, well, first of all, the MLB doesn't take domestic violence seriously. Guys like Aroldis Chapman and Addison Russell are still in this league, and it's like, listen, you're pretty much just saying, oh, these women don't matter. Like, what they went through does not matter. That's horrible. First of all, I have begun to hate the MLB for that. Well, not just for that reason. I also hate the way they treat the minor leaguers. And now they're cutting minor league teams because apparently they're not bringing in enough money. Rob Manfred, do you know how much money those minor leaguers make? Less than minimum wage. Not bringing in enough money. That's so stupid. Do you know how much money the Cardinals make every year and how much of that if they just upped it to like $11 an hour, it would put a very small dent in the profit. Very small. I have done research on this. Rob Manfred, where you at? We need to talk. But anyway, then, like, I feel like the Cubs always do this. It's always the Cubs that I know of that do this kind of thing. Like last year, I think it was last year, they put up the sign during Women in Sports Media Week saying no women allowed. It was an old historic sign that they had from, I think, like the 60s that they just put up, and that quickly got taken down. But the fact that they even like thought it, like, oh, this is a neat thing to put up, come on. It's 2020. For crying out loud, stop being that way. I'm not gonna say the word because I feel like it's pretty harsh, but just stop. Please just stop. That's all for today. I could probably list you more cons, but we don't have time for that. I could probably think of more pros too, but it would take a while. And I don't really feel like talking about it that much. But in case you were wondering, or if you are a girl in the hobby, you know what I'm going through. You know what we all go through. And if you're a guy and you're watching this and taking it seriously, respect. I respect you. You are great. I don't really like it when people are like, I respect you, but then they don't listen. So thank you for watching this all the way through and listening to me. It shows you really do respect me, and I'll respect you right back. So that is it for today, like I said. But hopefully I'll be coming out with another video within the week. Probably not tomorrow. I work very, very early tomorrow. I'm probably actually going to be going to bed pretty swiftly after this. So, that is, I keep saying that's all. Bye!